At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in Health, the OPTAVIA team.
All right, guys, welcome to our OPTAVIA community time. This is where we go through our habits of health. I am so excited to spend this evening with you. We are going to be spending the evening talking about a topic that fires me up, evaluating your progress and finishing 2020 strong. My name is Joanna Mitchell. I am an independent certified OPTAVIA coach. I have actually been coaching now for 6 years and started my health journey 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I lost 35 pounds. My life was changed for forever. But something interesting happened in that process. You see, when I started on this journey, I had a diet mentality. What that meant was I was looking for a start and a stop to this health journey. I wanted to reach my goal and go back to normal. The reality with that and the problem with that is normal is what got me to where I needed to be on program in the first place. So something that had to shift in me as I was journeying and as I am journeying is the reality that this pursuit of optimal health never has a finish line. I'll have goal markers and mile markers along the way, but I no longer need to be in pursuit of a start and a stop. I had to switch my mindset to I'm on a lifelong journey. And Dr. A says something pretty cool that I just love, and we'll talk about that in a second. But he has a great quote that we'll talk about. But before we get into that, I would love to hear from you tonight. Which best describes you? Are you here tonight as a guest with us? Are you a client? Are you from Hong Kong and Singapore? Are you a coach? Are you a coach from Hong Kong and Singapore? We'd love to hear from you and know who you are because it matters. This is our family time. So let's go into that quote from Dr. A. Dr. A has a quote that says, here, I'm going to get to that screen. It says, the most important part of your transformation is learning to be able to take control and develop your own ability and taking ownership of your choices. Man, that quote wrecks me. That quote just fires me up because up until this point, up until the point of my health journey, I thought I was powerless. I had no idea that it was my responsibility to be the co-creator in the life I wanted to create. I had no idea that the most important fundamental skill that I could develop is the development of my own ability to take ownership of my choices. Once I started grasping hold of that, that started changing everything. But I need to be very vulnerable and very authentic with you in this. That doesn't mean all of a sudden things clicked in me and bam, I became the healthiest version of myself the next day. And the day after that, I was healthier, and the day after that. No. You need to know, and I'm going to share with you tonight some stories, but my journey's been like this. And it's okay. And it's actually good. Because you know what? If I'm failing, that means I'm in the arena trying. And so I am super excited because we are going to talk through some of the mindsets that are required in order to finish strong. And that first mindset is understanding the truth that sometimes success can be our biggest enemy to success. What do I mean by that? Well, when I came into this, I was in a lot of pain. In fact, I was miserable. And I needed this desperately. But then something happened once I hit that 20 mark. Once I hit that 20-pound mark, I call it the dangerous 20 now, I started getting comfortable. The pain was being relieved from me. And all of a sudden, I started taking my foot off the gas and I stopped doing the things that brought me success thus far. Stopped weighing, maybe added a little extra condiments, maybe added a little bit extra of snacks, maybe a little here, a little lick there. Suddenly, I didn't have that pain anymore, and I settled into comfort, and I stopped doing the things that brought me success. I'm here to tell you tonight that the most important thing that you need to do is at every point where you start feeling any inch of comfort, that means it's time to make a new decision. It's time to make a new decision. And I am charging you and calling you tonight to a higher place. I want you to step into the future 4 weeks from now, the end of 2020. And I want you to ask yourself, who do I want to be at the end of 2020? How do I want to show up by the end of 2020? How do I want to feel? What feelings do I want to feel? How do I want my clothes to feel? You see, it is so important that you harness the power of decision. I think we take lightly sometimes how important this power of decision is. You see, the word decision means eliminating all other options. And so often we don't even recognize how powerfully we make decisions day in and day out. We blow things off. I hear people say all the time, well, I have to take my kids to school. I have to go over and do this. I have to make dinner. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I'm here to tell you, no, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You see, you decided. You decided your kids were a priority, and doggone it, you do really hard things to take care of them. You decided maybe your marriage was a priority, and you contend every day. You've decided that you need to provide for your family. Every day you get up and you go to that job and you work your tail off. You see, you have taken for granted how many decisions you've actually made in your life. And you've diluted it with the word, I have to. So I want you to grab hold of that for a second, and I want you to now transfer that back over to your health journey. What are you deciding? And if you feel any inch of comfort, it's time to make some bigger decisions. How is 2020 going to end? What are you going to feel like? How are you going to show up? How are your clothes going to feel? Make the decision about what the end of 2020 is going to look like today. And I'm super excited to introduce to you a friend of mine. Her name is Debbie Raulerson. And Debbie has made some very powerful decisions in her own health journey that she's going to share with you that are impacting the entire trajectory of her life. Debbie, come and join us.
Hi, thank you so much, Joanna. As she said, I'm Debbie Raulerson, and I'm from Okeechobee, Florida. This is my story. A little over a year ago, the beginning of last year, I was 49 and morbidly obese. And I got into both of my parents passed away within a 4-year period of each other. And I got into a deep depression and I couldn't crawl out of the hole. I was lonely and scared and lost. And I had started self-isolating. I am a teacher, and so I started sitting at my desk a lot and having my students come to me. I'm an extrovert, you guys. I love people, and I love to be with people, but I stopped being with people. I stopped traveling because I was embarrassed, because I had to buy 2 plane seats and get a seatbelt extender. My joints hurt. I wasn't 49, I was 89. I got out of breath if I walked anywhere. So I was just in a miserable place. So I decided that I needed to do something. So I decided to see a therapist. it just so happened that the therapist I chose was also an OPTAVIA health coach, a certified coach. And so I went to her, and of course, we talked about my weight. And the first thing she talked to me about was gratitude, and that's never left me since. And if you are on the program of OPTAVIA, then you know how important gratitude is. And then the next thing she said is, hey, when you're ready, I have something that can help you. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I was so skeptical. I've done every weight loss program there is, right? I've done everything except for surgery. She said, no, really. Here's a picture of me 65 pounds heavier. And she said 65 pounds heavier, and I've kept it off. I was amazed. This beautiful professional woman had lost 65 pounds and it kept it off. So May 14th of 2019, I started on my health journey. And as of now, I've lost 100 pounds. I know, it's kind of incredible. I'm tooting my own horn. But the scale victories are fabulous. But my non-scale victories, you guys, are even better. I can tie my shoes. I can cross my legs. I can walk upstairs. When I started preschool, I'm in my classroom right now. When I started preschool, I climbed a ladder myself and hung posters on my walls. I can't tell you how long it's been since I felt physically well enough to climb a ladder safely. I can go in a restaurant now and I don't have to automatically say table. I don't have to worry about whether I can fit in a booth or not. I'm traveling again. I'm getting on an airplane on December 26th and flying to see my best friend in Pennsylvania. You know what? I'm not buying an extra seat. I'm not buying an extra seat this time. The other thing that has happened, my joints don't hurt. I have so much energy. Can you believe how much energy I have? Also, you guys, I got all my confidence back and I started dating again. You guys, I have a boyfriend. I know. That's very elementary to say a boyfriend, but hey, I'm experiencing my youth again. I got a boyfriend and it's fabulous. How do I stay going on my journey? There are three things that keep me connected. Three things. One is that I stay connected with my people. Every week I'm in a Zoom meeting. Every week I attend some kind of Zoom about my health journey. And two, even though I'm more than a year in, I still talk to my coach every week religiously. If we can't Zoom together, then we're on the phone. Number two, the second thing that I've done is I became a coach. One, I became a coach so it would hold me accountable. If I'm trying to help other people, then I got to be on my game, right? And two, you guys, look at this joy. I want others to find this joy. If I can help other people get parts of themselves back like I have, that rocks. That totally rocks. And then the third way I keep on my journey is I live it out loud, y'all. I put it out there on Facebook weekly, sometimes daily. I do lives, I do posts, and it is amazing the support I have from people all over the country that are saying, go, Deb, good job. You're inspiring me. Not everybody I'm inspiring is on OPTAVIA or on the health journey with me, but they're doing something about their health. They're making progress, which is awesome, which is totally awesome. I'm still on my journey. I have not reached my goal yet. As I shared with Joanna before, I don't know what that goal is. I've never been there. I've never been little. I don't know. So I'm going to keep going as long as I feel healthy. I'm going to keep pushing to my goals because you know what? I'm up for adventure and my future is bright, you guys. It is so bright and I'm going to live it. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you, Joanna, for having me on tonight. I appreciate you and letting me share my story.
I mean, come on. Who isn't fired up after that? Thank you so much for sharing, Debbie. All right, so let's jump into a couple more mindsets behind finishing strong. So again, you've harnessed the power of decision. You've recognized what you want to feel, who you want to be, how you want your clothes to feel, all the things that you're wanting the next 4 weeks. That future self is coaching you. Now we need to establish that as an identity. What do I mean by that? I want you to shift from saying, I'm going to start eating healthy again, to I am a healthy person. Now, how does a healthy person act? What does a healthy person eat? Where does a healthy person shop? I want you to shift from, I am going to start engaging more with my children to, I'm a fun and present mom or dad. I don't want you to say what you're going to do. I want this to now become your identity. This last year, I decided I was going to train for a half marathon. And the first thing I did was I declared to all the world, look out world, I am now a runner. I'm buying shoes where the runners buy their shoes. I'm buying running clothes. I'm eating like a runner and I'm training like a runner. And y'all, when I made that declaration of my new identity, the longest I could run was 3 minutes. 3 minutes. But you know what? I decided who I was. And then I started making secondary decisions to support that future self. After you've done that, I want you now then to pay attention. What story are you telling yourself in your head? You've decided who you're going to be. You've created your identity. But now my guess is some of you have still a little bit of a tape playing in the back of your head. You see, I have struggled with myself. Recently, I was kind of going a little backwards in my health journey, actually a lot. And I noticed that around, 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I started getting really tired. And I turned back to food to cope with my exhaustion. I had emotional exhaustion and physical exhaustion. And I was using food as my numbing agent or as my upper. And I made the statement, I just can't, because every time at 4, I get wrecked and I have to eat. And that was a statement that was going in my head. You see, I had failed in advance. Bottom line, I'd made a decision that I already was going to fail. I needed to change that story. I needed to make myself aware of it and change it. So I started saying, man, at 4 o'clock, I step into my power. At 5 o'clock, I do really, really difficult things. At 6 o'clock, I engage with my children. And here's something also that I needed to do in order to change my story. I had to give myself reminders. Y'all, your brain, my brain, it is wired to slip back into comfort. When our brains sense stress or exhaustion or trauma, it screams at you, hey, come get some comfort. Why don't you cozy up with a big thing of ice cream? Hey, go get on the couch and grab a remote control and binge watch. Hey, why don't you start scrolling? You've had a hard day. And we forget what we've decided. So I actually have physical reminders in my phone that goes off at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, reminding me of the decisions that I've made about myself and who I am on the most powerful parts of my day. When I am most clear, when I am most conscious, I make decisions of who I am and what I want to accomplish, and then I put my reminders for them to pop up in my phone when I'm my most vulnerable. So at 4 o'clock, my alarm goes off and it says, step into your power. At 5 o'clock, my alarm goes off and says, your children are a dream come true. Go sit with them and enjoy them. At 6 o'clock, another reminder goes off. Every hour during my most vulnerable parts of the day, it reminds me of the decisions I made in power. I'm going to introduce with you another friend of mine. These two are rock star couple powerhouse. And they are, I actually want to share their pictures first. Their names are Eric and Sherrill Moffett. And Eric and Cheryl are the funnest couple on the planet. And I'm super excited for you to hear a little bit about their story. Guys, come on off.
Hi. My name is Eric.
And I'm Cheryl, and we are the Moffetts, and we have been on this program since June 22nd this year. In June, Eric and I were in a huge place of uncertainty with our jobs. I'm a teacher, he's a pastor, and we had so many unknowns going on at this point during the pandemic that we were thinking, do we go back? Do we wait? What exactly does social distancing look like within our jobs? And for the unseeable future, this was just how it would be. In an effort to try and grab a tiny bit of control over something during this time, I reached out to a very dear friend of mine, Erin McEvely, to be my health coach. Since my days in about middle school, I have always been what we would call big boned, right? That lovely phrase when we're a little fluffier, a little more fluffy than the average person. With that, I landed the position of what I like to call the triple F, the funny fat friend. Out of fear and shame, I leaned into that identity. I wore it and it got comfortable. My insecurity only grew with that though, and it stayed with me into adulthood. Before reaching out to my health coach, Erin, I felt lost and I was afraid of a challenge. And I felt incapable of making the necessary changes to be healthy.
I had this moment of realization of just how miserable my life had become after having a serious conversation with Cheryl when she was about to go on the program about her health. And I said, I want something to change. I don't know if it's this, but I want something to change. And the very next day, she caught me driving through a KFC after a meeting. And it was then I just realized how silly my life had become. I was making clandestine fast food runs to hide how much I was eating. I was embarrassed. I needed something to change. I was pushing 400 pounds. I felt terrible. And I also felt helpless. I didn't know what to do. We started the program. Cheryl actually is my coach. And since then, I've lost 113 pounds and Cheryl has lost 67 pounds.
Yeah, together. I'm not a math person, but I'm pretty sure that's 180 pounds.
About right, yes. Our lives have been drastically altered. Our little 8-year-old daughter is proud of us because for the first time in her life, she can actually reach her arms around both of us, each of us, and can give us a proper hug.
Y'all, those hugs are the best.
And what's helped me continue to contend for my health every single day is keeping in the forefront of my mind my why. Why did I start this in the first place? Why did I want to take this journey? And we want to be present. We want to be present for our daughter. We want to live life before we were missing out on life. We were exhausted and tired and miserable, and we felt helpless. And so what's helped me is as I look at all these micro habits that we're building week after week, moment after moment, eating every 2 to 3 hours, hydration, movement, sleep, all of them, I try every day to look through the lens of why. Why am I doing this? Why am I in this journey? Because it makes it so less daunting. Because every single little habit that we've been building is moving us one step closer to meeting that goal. We're contending for our health by keeping our why in center stage. And so it takes away the emotion of the moment. I don't have to panic about not having pizza for lunch because I know that I'm contending for my health and my future and my family. I don't have to sulk because I'm not getting the bacon cheeseburger because we're part of something greater. We are getting healthier. And in those moments of weakness, in those moments where I thought I'm not going to be able to make the right choice, rooting myself and just kind of cementing my feet in the why has helped me to contend every single day.
Yeah. One of the main reasons I continue to stay on this journey is because it works. I'm a little over halfway to my health goal and have had more success in this journey than I ever have with any other method of losing weight or getting healthy. And a huge component for me has been finding a safe space for accountability and then actively engaging in that community. I am able to contend for and be a warrior for my health goals with the help of my coach and the people doing it right alongside me. We learn these healthy habits together, cheer each other on with every victory, big or small. And my mindset has shifted from trying to grab control of something into finally letting go of something. And there is no shame. And the freedom that comes with that is empowering.
We've both had to learn to take personal responsibility for where we were health-wise, where we are right now, and where we want to be in the future. Before, and this is no lie, I would honestly pray whenever I go to the doctor, Lord, let me have a thyroid problem so that my weight is not my fault. And that's really how I saw my health, that surely all of this is not my fault. It can be someone else's responsibility. That if I just had some magic pill or magic moment or wave of the wand, that it'll get better. And what OPTAVIA has taught me is that I can build on small habits that are simple to implement, And step by step, moment by moment, we're able to take responsibility. And that personal responsibility has allowed us to continue on this journey. That's empowered us to have this responsibility that I've never had in my entire life. And because of that, we're confident we're going to meet our goals and maybe exceed our goals and continue on for a healthy life for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. And thank you for letting us share. And we hope that something we've said has resonated with you and to help you contend for your own health, because you are capable.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Woo! Y'all, I'm telling you something. Thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for showing up. That was something. I love that you said, I prayed that I had a thyroid problem. That gets me every time. Amazing. So I'm going to close this out with a few things. I'm going to bring on one more friend. But as you are, again, deciding what you want and harnessing the power of decision, as you are redetermining your identity, as you are paying attention to your stories and creating reminders during your most vulnerable times of the day, before you even do anything, I want you to celebrate the victories that you've had so far. I want you to set these new goals, not from a place of defeat, not from a place of negativity and fear, but from a place of power. And that place of power happens when you celebrate your victories. And do not tell me that you don't have any victories. Because doggone it, if you have fallen a million times and gotten back up and are on this call, you have something to celebrate, because you're in the arena and you haven't given up on yourself. So you have something to celebrate. It's from that place of power we develop our next goals. And when you do that, I want you to redefine your wins. Define your wins. Right now, the win for you between now and the end of 2020 might be becoming a better sleeper. It might be working on some movement, walking 15 minutes a day. But I want you to define wins and something that you can win at every single day, because that develops habits. And wins beget wins, begets wins, begets wins. So do this from a place of power and redefine your wins. As we close out, I'm going to introduce to you my friend, Roy Jones. Roy is amazing. He will bring joy into your evening tonight. I'm going to let him share his story, but he's down 260 pounds. So Roy, would you come off and share with us your brilliance?
Hi, everybody. Drop the mic, Debbie, Eric, Jessica. You know, that's a tough act to follow, but
Roy, would you put your
that.
screen on? Roy, could you put your screen on for us?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
How's that?
Yeah, try again.
Am I on?
Not yet, but you've got this. You had it on a second ago. There it is. All right, let's do it.
I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. That's a tough act to follow, but I want to thank you for welcoming me and for having me here tonight. And I'm honored. My story briefly is that I was somewhere over 600 pounds. I don't know exactly where. I could only weigh in on a freight scale on the loading dock. And it was a couple months after I'd done that I joined this program. So I was somewhere over 400 or 600, but it's not all about the weight, but I was I was hopeless. I was in pain all the time. I couldn't walk. My knees hurt so bad. I didn't see a future. There are not too many people turning 65 years old that are 600 pounds. And I knew that I had to make a decision. I had done every diet in the world. I had gastric bypass back in the early 90s. I had tried everything and I gained it all back again. I was a professional dieter. The funny story is when I went to see the gastric bypass doctor, I had a consultation in his office and I sat in the Queen Anne chair and it was kindling before I got done. And I blamed it on the chair, and I blamed it on the doctor. I said, doctor, you know, you have fat people in here, and you should have stronger chairs. It was not my fault, but it was my fault. It's really not my fault, but it's my responsibility. And I finally learned when I couldn't get up in my truck any longer. I drove truck for over 40 years, and I just watched my weight just go up and up and up, because it's such a obesogenic industry. And but to make a long story short, I have now lost 280 pounds. As you see behind me, I'm in my he shed, as in he shed 280 pounds. This is my office that I built to facilitate my OPTAVIA business, my health coaching business. And I built it with the proceeds from that. I took no money from my household account, and I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. I now have energy. My company is called Long Arm Health, because I discovered that every pound I lost, my arms got a little longer. I could tie my own shoes. I took that 280 pounds represents over 1,000 pounds of weight off my knees, over 1,500 pounds of weight off my hips. I have energy to live my life. I dream big. I told Joanna the other day, Joanna, I'm going to ride a burro down into the Grand Canyon. And I wouldn't have done that to a burro before, but that's how I can dream. I can dream big, and that burro is going to handle me. And then I'm going to whitewater raft down the river. And these are things that I never dreamed I'd have the ability to do. And now I get to coach this program, which is so special. And I get to help my family, my trucking friends, as many people in the world as I can help. So I eat really good stuff. If you'd have told me a year ago that I was going to like eating healthy, I'd have laughed at you, but I eat really good food. There's 3 parts of this program that I want you to understand, and it's a healthy body, a healthy mind, and healthy finances. And we can handle every part of that. And that allowed me to build this building. But I went from a size 10X to a size 4X shirt. My waist went from 73 to a 52, and I'm only partway there. And I know that everybody on this call, if I can do this, you can do this. And if you have any kind of, your 20 pounds is as important as my 200 pounds or my 300 pounds. We're all on this journey together, and whatever it is that you want to do to be more healthy, we're here for you. And this program, you have the power. You have the power within yourself to do this. And I have gained that and the clarity of mind to understand that and to dream big. I have the power, and you have it as well. Reach out to the person that invited you to this call, and they can guide you. It's your journey, and you can do it at your own pace, but it's doable. And thanks for being here with me tonight. I know I probably went over, Joanna, but thank you, everyone.
Were amazing. Thank you, Roy. Thank you for just being so vulnerable and for being you. So we love about you. So as I close out, I want you to hear me. The world is telling you, just wait until New Year's. That's what culture is saying. And I'm saying to you, culture hasn't really hit the mark. In fact, culture is pretty miserable right now. And why not try being a weirdo? I feel like weird is where it's at. Your future self needs you to make that decision today. Your future self, your kids, your family members, your loved ones need you to decide to be your best self today. Sometimes I remind myself and create necessity by saying, who wins when I win? Who wins when I create that future self? Who loses if I choose not to? So I close with you tonight, challenging you to decide. Declare your identity. Cement in your head what it is that you are going to create and give yourself reminders. Do it from a place of power. Redefine your wins. And as we close out tonight, I'd love to hear from you guys. Which macro habit is the most challenging for you? Which one is the one that challenges you the most? Is it weight management, hydration, motion, sleep, mind, surroundings? Which one is the most challenging? We'd love to hear that from you. And while we close out, this is where it's at, right here. Be clear on your current reality. Be clear. Current reality is an acquired taste. Then decide what it is you're going to create. Remember, decision means eliminating all other possibilities. So once you've made that decision, all other choices come up under two questions. Is this going to support my future decision or weaken my future decision? But we believe in you. I'm excited for what you're going to create. And I thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'd love to see the results. Which macro habit is the most difficult? Look at that. Interesting. Pretty balanced. Well, we'd love to hear from you guys. Did you enjoy our community time tonight? I'd love for you to stay on. It has been such a pleasure spending time with you. Make sure, if you haven't done this yet, make sure that you text OPTAVIA 30 to 9900. Also check out our YouTube channel so you can watch all of these habits of health over and over, these calls. And join us on our next call. Next week, Dr. JC Dornick, a friend of mine, is going to be talking on the habits of longevity. And immediately following right now, we're going to be having some more amazing stories of transformation that are going to inspire the socks off of you. You're going to get to see how their health has changed, how their family has changed, how their mind has changed. We'd love for you to stay on and join us in these next 30 minutes. You guys have an amazing evening, and thank you for spending time with us.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining OPTAVIA. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.